We are just a little over 3 months away from the official release of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, as well as creator George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about Episode 9 is that we do know that this film is, of course, going to insert many different pieces of nostalgia, while at the same exact time introducing new aspects to the Star Wars franchise that fans have never seen before on the big screen in the Skywalker saga's history, and that really does speak volumes by JJ. It tells us that he's very ambitious and goal-driven with this movie, and he's really trying to make something quite magical to end the Skywalker saga. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this movie, and when it all comes down to one of the concept art descriptions, this is where things begin to get very intense for Episode 9. Now, specifically, shot descriptions consisting of a sequence that is said to take place in the third act, where it's explained that Kylo Ren is inside of the Death Star wreckage after he falls inside of the wreckage due to a surprise attack from Rey during their lightsaber duel. It's explained that one of the sequences is said to involve Kylo Ren hearing whispers in the distance, reaching out to him where he begins to ignite his crossguard lightsaber in the process, where he begins to see a shadowy black figure that approaches him. The figure is said to be Dark Rey with her double-bladed red lightsaber, where it's said that for a brief sequence in the film, Kylo Ren goes through a test in the Death Star wreckage, where he is said to fight against a vision of Darth Rey, using her double-bladed red lightsaber, and that this has to do with Palpatine controlling this vision from afar to test Kylo's potential as a Sith Lord. It's explained that Kylo is able to put up the fight against Dark Rey, however at times struggles, and eventually defeats and kills the version of Dark Rey. This was all said to be a test by Palpatine, without Kylo Ren even knowing upon traveling up to the top of the Death Star wreckage. It said that the real version of Rey is nowhere to be found. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, we do know that Episode 9 is going to be a movie that's going to have a lot of dark elements and tones to it all, and that's going to be demonstrated in the upcoming trailer, which, by the way, is aimed for a October 14th release, which is just under a month from now. So we're going to get an idea of how dark this movie really is going to be in just a couple of weeks from now. Now, what's really exciting about this particular moment, alright, it's actually said to take place after or in between the lightsaber duel between Rey and Kylo, where Rey is actually said to knock Kylo Ren down into the Death Star wreckage, literally inside of the remnants of the Death Star wreckage on whatever world or moon this really is based on, which could very well be the forest moon of Endor for all we know. So inside of this wreckage is where Kylo Ren begins to hear the whispers, right, which could very well allude to what we heard in the second teaser trailer that released over at D23 and by Good Morning America, and how that may very well connect to this particular moment where he begins to see the dark version of Rey and fights her in a very complex lightsaber duel where he's using his crossguard and Dark Rey is using the double-bladed red lightsaber. Now, what I love so much about this is that this is kind of like introducing something new to the Star Wars franchise, because we've never really seen a dark sider, right, go through a vision like this. We've seen Luke Skywalker go through a vision like this fighting Darth Vader. Now we have Kylo Ren fighting against Dark Rey. In case you guys did not know, Dark Rey is going to show up multiple times in this movie. It's not going to be a small one-time thing, but she's going to actually have a series of small little scenes, little tidbits, if you will, that'll appear before Rey, that'll appear by Palpatine's side in the form of a vision through Kylo's eyes, as well as a moment where Kylo has to fight Dark Rey. And he's actually said to defeat and kill this dark vision of Rey eventually, somewhat similar to what Luke Skywalker did to Darth Vader by beheading him on Dagobah. Now, we're not quite sure exactly how Kylo Ren kills the vision of Rey. It could be by use of his lightsaber, maybe Kylo Ren uses Force Lightning, we don't know. But one thing for sure, and one thing is for certain, is that Kylo Ren does eventually kill the Dark Rey vision. Now, it really makes one wonder, what is the interior of the Death Star wreckage going to look like? What is that going to be like as far as the visuals, right? The scenery of it all. The best way I can imagine it right now is if we go back to the very beginning of The Force Awakens, where Rey is inside of the wreckage of that Star Destroyer. I kind of imagine it like that. Very dark and gritty. Maybe like some water flowing in there and having the sounds of the waves crashing into the metal with the lightning, as we have heard, will be a part of this story. That would make a lot of sense. So the other piece that I do want to go over is that eventually after Kylo Ren defeats Dark Rey, he said to travel back to the top of the Death Star wreckage for the real version of Rey to be nowhere found. Now, that's very interesting. Where did she go? Did she leave this world or moon, wherever she is, or wherever this place is? Or is she hiding somewhere from Kylo Ren? That's a big question open on the table, because we do know that eventually there's going to be an alliance between Kylo and Rey to fight off Darth Sidious, also known as Emperor Palpatine in this movie, so I cannot wait to see that as well. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again. No.